Either-or is a significant work by the Danish philosopher and theologian Soren Kierkegaard. It was published in 1843 and marked a turning point in Kierkegaard's philosophical development. The book is written under the pseudonyms Victor Eremita and Judge William, which allows Kierkegaard to present contrasting perspectives on various existential themes. The central theme of Either-or revolves around the choices individuals make in their lives and the implications these choices have for their existence. Kierkegaard explores the tension between the aesthetic and ethical ways of life, examining the different paths individuals may take in their pursuit of meaning and fulfillment. The first volume of Either-or, written by Victor Eremita, presents the aesthetic way of life. It focuses on the pursuit of pleasure, sensuality, and immediate gratification. Victor Eremita discusses various topics, including love affairs, music, art, and the pursuit of beauty. The aesthetic life is characterized by a lack of commitment, as individuals constantly seek new experiences and are driven by their desires. The second volume, written by Judge William, represents the ethical way of life. It emphasizes moral responsibility, duty, and the importance of making choices based on principles. Judge William criticizes the aesthetic life as being superficial and argues for the necessity of personal commitments and social obligations. While it is mentioned that Judge William is the author of the second volume, it is another pseudonymous persona created by Kierkegaard. Judge William represents a voice advocating for the ethical life and exploring the importance of personal commitments, duty, and moral integrity. Judge William is one of the personas created by Victor Eremita within the second volume. Kierkegaard doesn't explicitly endorse either perspective presented in the book but uses them as contrasting viewpoints to explore the complexities of human existence. He challenges readers to reflect on their own lives and consider the choices they make. Either-or is regarded as one of Kierkegaard's most important works because it sets the stage for his later philosophical writings, which delve deeper into existential questions and religious themes. It exemplifies Kierkegaard's unique writing style, employing irony, satire, and pseudonyms to engage readers and encourage self-reflection. The aesthetic individual tends to avoid commitment and is often characterized by a lack of responsibility. The first volume of Either-or primarily explores this stage, presenting a range of perspectives related to the pursuit of aesthetic pleasure. Here are some key characteristics and aspects associated with the aesthetic stage. Lack of commitment. One of the defining features of the aesthetic stage is a reluctance or aversion towards commitment. The aesthetic individual tends to avoid long-term responsibilities, obligations, and relationships that might restrict their freedom or limit their pursuit of pleasure. They prefer to remain detached and enjoy a sense of freedom and spontaneity. Hedonism and sensualism. Hedonism refers to the belief that pleasure and happiness are the ultimate goals of life. In the aesthetic stage, individuals often exhibit hedonistic tendencies, prioritizing personal pleasure and gratification above other considerations. Sensualism refers to the focus on sensory experiences and the enjoyment derived from sensory pleasures, such as food, drink, physical sensations, and sensual encounters. Lack of purpose and direction. The aesthetic stage can also be characterized by a lack of a clear sense of purpose or direction in life. Individuals in this stage may struggle with a sense of meaninglessness, as their pursuit of pleasure and immediate gratification may leave them feeling empty or unsatisfied in the long run. The absence of a higher purpose beyond personal enjoyment can lead to a sense of existential void. It is important to note that the aesthetic stage is not inherently negative or condemned by Kierkegaard. Rather, he presents it as the starting point of the individual's existential journey, with the potential for growth and development towards higher stages, such as the ethical and religious stages. The aesthetic stage serves as a way to explore the limitations and emptiness that can arise from a life solely focused on immediate pleasures, prompting individuals to reflect on their choices and consider alternative paths to fulfillment. The first volume of Either Or is written by the pseudonymous author Victor Eremita, and it serves as an exploration of the aesthetic stage of existence. Through various characters and writings, Kierkegaard presents the consequences of solely seeking pleasure and highlights the inherent emptiness and lack of lasting fulfillment that can accompany such a lifestyle. Kierkegaard's writing style in this volume is marked by irony and satire. Through the use of pseudonyms and different voices, he employs a literary technique that challenges readers to question their own values and choices. The ironic tone invites reflection on the superficiality and transitory nature of aesthetic pursuits, encouraging readers to consider alternative paths to a more meaningful existence. Here are a few examples from the first volume of Either Or, along with their underlying meanings. The Diary of a Young Man. This section presents a diary written by a young man who embraces the aesthetic way of life fully. He indulges in various pleasures and pursuits, such as attending parties, engaging in casual love affairs, and seeking immediate gratification. This example portrays the young man's relentless pursuit of pleasure and his disregard for long-term commitments or ethical considerations. The Unhappiest One. In this section, a letter from an anonymous author describes a person who leads an aesthetic life but experiences deep unhappiness and dissatisfaction. The individual constantly seeks new experiences and stimuli, yet remains unfulfilled. This example serves as a cautionary tale, revealing the potential emptiness and lack of lasting happiness that can accompany a solely aesthetic existence. The Aesthetic Validity of Marriage. This piece explores the aesthetics of marriage and the perception of marriage as an aesthetic choice. It presents the idea that marriage can be viewed as a way to enhance one's own aesthetic experiences and provide stability while still allowing for personal freedom. This example reflects the perspective of embracing marriage as an aesthetic choice rather than as a deep ethical commitment. The Seducer's Diary. This section, written by the pseudonymous author Johannes the Seducer, who is another creation of Victor Eremita, the primary pseudonymous author of Either Or. Johannes embodies the persona of a seducer and recounts his experiences and strategies in pursuing and captivating women. This part explores the seductive and manipulative nature of romantic relationships. It presents a narrative of a seducer who pursues relationships for the thrill of conquest and the pursuit of pleasure. The underlying meaning behind this section is a critique of shallow relationships based on manipulation and the pursuit of immediate gratification. It highlights the emptiness and moral consequences of such behaviors. Through Johannes, Victor Eremita examines the aesthetic stage of existence and critiques the pursuit of immediate pleasure and the manipulation of others for personal gain. The underlying meaning behind the Seducer's Diary is to shed light on the shallowness and ethical consequences of a lifestyle driven by seduction and the pursuit of fleeting pleasures. The Diary of a Seducer's Defense. In this section, the pseudonymous author defends the perspective of the seducer, arguing that seduction is an art form and that the pursuit of pleasure and conquest can provide a unique aesthetic experience. The underlying meaning here is a deeper exploration of the complexities of the aesthetic stage. It challenges readers to consider the allure and appeal of the seductive lifestyle while also highlighting its inherent limitations and potential ethical dilemmas. The Rotation Method. This section presents a letter from a young man discussing his practice of the rotation method. The rotation method refers to the strategy of maintaining multiple love affairs simultaneously, thereby avoiding commitment and emotional attachment. The underlying meaning behind this section is a critique of the superficiality and lack of genuine connection that can arise from treating love as a game or a fleeting experience. It encourages readers to reflect on the consequences of such behavior and the potential emptiness it can lead to. The Seducer's Speech. In this section, Johannes the Seducer delivers a speech about the nature of seduction and the pursuit of pleasure. He argues that by indulging in aesthetic experiences and refusing to commit, one can retain a sense of freedom and avoid the burdens of responsibility. The underlying meaning here is a challenge to the reader's own values and priorities. It forces readers to confront the tension between personal freedom and the deeper longing for meaning and connection that may come from ethical or religious commitment. Despite the exploration of the aesthetic stage, Kierkegaard does not endorse or promote it as the ultimate mode of existence. Instead, he emphasizes personal responsibility and the power of choice. Through the various perspectives presented in the volume, readers are prompted to reflect on their own lives and consider the implications of their choices. The volume invites individuals to take ownership of their existence and consider the consequences of pursuing a purely aesthetic life. The first volume of Either Or serves as a multifaceted exploration of the aesthetic stage of existence. It provides a critique of hedonism and superficiality while inviting readers to engage in self-reflection and consider the broader implications of their choices. Through its ironic and thought-provoking style, the volume challenges readers to contemplate alternative paths to a more meaningful and authentic way of life. The ethical stage. The ethical stage represents a higher level of existence compared to the aesthetic stage. In this stage, individuals recognize the importance of moral responsibility and social obligations. They make choices based on ethical principles and uphold societal norms and values. Here are some key characteristics and aspects associated with the ethical stage. Recognition of others. The ethical stage involves recognizing and valuing the existence and rights of others. Individuals in this stage understand the interconnectedness of human beings and the significance of social relationships. They prioritize cooperation, empathy, and justice in their interactions with others. Embracing social obligations. The ethical stage emphasizes the fulfillment of social obligations and responsibilities. Individuals recognize that their actions have an impact on the broader community and society as a whole. They actively participate in civic duties, engage in social justice causes, and contribute to the betterment of society. Striving for self-development. The ethical stage also involves personal growth and self-development. Individuals in this stage work on cultivating virtues, self-discipline, and moral character. They engage in self-reflection, strive for self-improvement, and seek to align their actions with their ethical beliefs. In the ethical stage, individuals move beyond the pursuit of immediate pleasure and personal desires. They embrace a sense of duty, accountability, and moral integrity, seeking to lead a life guided by ethical principles. The ethical stage represents a shift towards a more responsible and socially aware mode of existence. The second volume of Either Or continues the exploration of existential themes but takes a different perspective compared to the first volume. It is commonly known as the Ethical Discourses and focuses on the ethical stage of existence. It is structured as a collection of papers, letters, and reflections from different pseudonymous authors, including Judge William. Judge William is one of the personas created by Victor Eremita within the second volume. As an authorial creation, Judge William represents a distinct voice and perspective on ethical matters. Through Judge William's writings, the volume explores ethical themes and the importance of personal responsibility, moral choices, and commitments. So, to clarify, both the first and second volumes of Either Or are written by Victor Eremita, who employs pseudonyms like Judge William to present different viewpoints and engage readers in a multifaceted exploration of existential themes and stages of existence. Here are a few examples from the second volume of Either Or, along with their underlying meanings. The Judge's Reflections on the Tragic. In this section, Judge William reflects on the concept of the tragic, exploring the ethical dilemmas and moral conflicts that arise in tragic narratives. The judge contemplates the complexities of human existence, the choices individuals face, and the ethical implications of their actions within the tragic context. The Choice. This piece presents a dialogue between two characters discussing the nature of choice and the responsibility that comes with it. It explores the ethical considerations involved in decision-making, highlighting the need for individuals to take ownership of their choices and the moral consequences that result from them. The moral view of marriage. This section offers a reflection on the moral aspects of marriage, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect, trust, and shared moral values within a marital relationship. It delves into the ethical dimensions of commitment, fidelity, and the development of virtuous character through the shared journey of marriage. The irony of fate. In this piece, the pseudonymous author reflects on the ironic nature of fate and its implications for ethical choices. It delves into the complexities of life's circumstances and the ethical responsibility individuals have in navigating unexpected challenges, making ethical decisions, and finding meaning in the face of adversity. The letter from Judge William. This letter, written by the pseudonymous author Judge William, addresses the concept of marriage and its ethical significance. Judge William emphasizes the importance of commitment, responsibility, and self-sacrifice within the institution of marriage. The underlying meaning here is to highlight the ethical dimensions of personal relationships and the value of long-term commitments based on moral principles. The fragments of an ethical discourse. This section presents a series of reflections on various ethical topics, such as moral choices, virtue, and ethical duty. It explores the complexity of ethical decision-making and emphasizes the need for individuals to align their actions with their ethical beliefs. The underlying meaning is to provoke readers to contemplate the ethical aspects of their own lives and the implications of their choices on their character and relationships. The tragic in ancient drama reflected in the tragic in modern drama. In this piece, the pseudonymous author discusses the concept of the tragic in ancient and modern drama. It explores the moral dilemmas, conflicts, and ethical questions raised by tragic stories. The underlying meaning here is to prompt readers to consider the ethical implications of human actions and the complex nature of morality within the context of tragic narratives. The Socratic ethical view. This section presents a critique of Socratic ethics, questioning the notion of an absolute ethical system based on reason alone. It delves into the limitations of rationality in understanding and navigating ethical dilemmas. The underlying meaning is to challenge readers to reflect on the complexities of ethical decision-making and the interplay between reason and emotion in moral judgments. These examples illustrate some of the diverse perspectives and themes explored in the second volume of Either Or. Each section invites readers to reflect on ethical choices, moral responsibility, and the complexities of human existence. Through a variety of pseudonymous voices and thought-provoking discussions, the volume encourages readers to engage in ethical introspection and contemplate the ethical dimensions of their own lives. The second volume offers a critique of the aesthetic stage and the pursuit of immediate pleasure and gratification. It highlights the limitations and potential emptiness of a life solely focused on personal desires and urges readers to consider the ethical dimensions of their actions. The underlying meaning behind the second volume of Either Or is to encourage readers to reflect on the importance of ethical considerations in their lives. It prompts individuals to move beyond the pursuit of pleasure and superficiality and embrace a sense of personal responsibility, moral integrity, and the fulfillment that can come from making ethical choices. The religious stage. Kierkegaard considers the religious stage as the highest and most profound stage of existence. The religious stage involves a deep commitment to faith and a personal relationship with God. It goes beyond mere adherence to religious rituals and doctrines, emphasizing an individual's subjective experience of faith and the leap of faith required to transcend the limitations of reason. While Either Or does not extensively discuss the religious stage, Kierkegaard's later works, such as Fear and Trembling and Sickness unto Death, delve deeper into religious and existential themes. Kierkegaard's theory of the three stages of existence is not meant to be understood as a linear progression. Individuals can move between these stages or remain predominantly in one stage throughout their lives. the stages serve as conceptual tools for understanding different modes of existence and the challenges and possibilities they present. In Either-Or, Soren Kierkegaard primarily focuses on the aesthetic and ethical stages of existence. The book offers a comprehensive exploration of these two stages, examining their characteristics, implications, and contrasting perspectives. While the aesthetic stage represents a pursuit of pleasure, immediate gratification, and the aesthetics of life, the ethical stage emphasizes personal responsibility, moral choices, and the development of ethical character. Regarding a conclusion for Either-Or and the stages of existence, it is important to note that Kierkegaard's intent with the book was not to provide a definitive answer or a conclusive stance on the stages of existence. Instead, he sought to present a diverse range of perspectives, highlighting the complexities and tensions inherent in the human experience. Kierkegaard intended to provoke thought and introspection, encouraging readers to reflect on their own lives and the choices they make. In essence, Either-Or does not present a clear resolution or a definitive path to follow. Rather, it serves as a philosophical work that challenges readers to engage with existential questions, confront the contradictions and dilemmas of human existence, and ultimately find their own individual paths towards meaning, authenticity, and personal fulfillment. It is through this engagement with the stages of existence, the examination of aesthetic and ethical perspectives, and the awareness of their limitations and interplay, that individuals are invited to embark on a personal journey towards self-discovery, understanding, and potentially, the religious stage of existence. Ultimately, the conclusion of Either-Or lies in the recognition of the complexities of human existence and the ongoing quest for personal authenticity, moral responsibility, and the pursuit of transcendent meaning that may extend beyond the boundaries explored within the book itself.